Do I look like one of your French girls, Jack?
Yes,
Jack, will you draw me like one of your French girls?
all my French girls have conical breasts.
To understand the food of our present, we must first understand the food of our past.
That's why we're recreating some of the most notable meals throughout history as accurately as possible, starting with the 20th century's greatest maritime disaster.
Yeah, my grandpa Earl fell off his fishing boat because he was real drunk and he tipped it over and then he got hurt.
Nope, we're talking about the Titanic and we are recreating the last meal eaten on board.
It's time for
The Meals of History! Alright, so everyone knows the Titanic was a giant ocean liner that carried some of the world's wealthiest individuals. It set sail in 1912, it crashed into an iceberg and led to the deaths of 1,500 people.
Yeah, but what many people don't know is that it also carried hundreds of immigrants from different class backgrounds from all over Europe, so there are tons of food stories to tell.
Speaking of which, Emily, since you are the passenger and I am the chef, I think you should be the one to choose what you're eating. So right here we have the menus. We got first class, second class, and third class.
I mean, are you really gonna make me choose between cabin biscuits and filet mignon and foie gras? I mean, I'm gonna need an evening gown and I'm gonna change my name. We're about to get fancy.
All right, let's get cooking.
Oh, hello, sexy peasant.
Thank you for calling me sexy. Who do we have here?
My name is Madame Marie.
Madame Marie, well, welcome.
Thank you. I'm on my way to the place where we shuffle diamonds around on a wooden floor. Do you know where that is, good sir?
I think that might be in the first deck, but right now you're actually in the kitchen.
Ooh, no.
Well, now that you're here, would you like to help out? Because we're actually making your dinner right now.
I don't mind learning new things, so I guess I'll help.
You seem very excited about it. So right now we are making what are called pommes Anna, which is part of the dish Filet Mignon Lily. This was invented by chef Adolphe Dugleret in the mid-19th century at Café Anglais in Paris. It was named after a French grande cocotte named Anna de Lyon. This was her signature dish that she would entertain the aristocracy with. You seem to like that.
You know a lot of words.
So can you go ahead and peel this potato for me?
No.
You have a lot of safety hazards, frankly, for a kitchen. What with the gloves, those are gonna go up in flames immediately. So I can just do this if you'd like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't really have to help. You can just stand there and do
That
silly
sounds
accents.
good.
Also, what kind of animal's around your neck?
This is faux. And it also says, make an entrance.
You certainly made an entrance. So this dish, the pomme Anna, it is a very classical French dish. It's actually a thing that a lot of people learn in culinary school, which obviously I did not go to. And then what you do is you brush a pan down in butter, and then you layer the potatoes, and you continue brushing it with butter, salt, and pepper until you're creating this kind of potato cake.
You know, this is like the moment where I'd expect for us to take these and then make them into a potato chip version of whatever the Titanic
Normally.
syrup.
No, we're going like pretty classical on this. I think the foods of history are really fascinating, right? Like it tells you all about the culture of the times.
Right.
Like the pores, that's what I call the steerage class, just the pores on the Titanic. They did not actually get a formal supper. I didn't realize that supper was known as a very kind of bourgeois thing. They ate like a fat breakfast just full of like oatmeal and milk and fish.
Yeah, and you get to do Irish step dancing in the basement.
Did
I've
you-
only watched the movie. I don't know anything else.
I've never seen the movie.
You've never seen the
No,
movie?
I'm straight doing this without ever having seen the movie, so I'm only going off of actual historical references and mostly from the food world.
I want to throw salt in there like it's the heart of the ocean into the ocean.
Do it, I don't know the reference because I've never seen the
Okay,
movie.
hang on.
So
Here we
you
go.
can teach me about the movie through cooking this
I'm
pomme
gonna
Anna.
approach it like she did in the movie, like to the precipice of the boat. That was a lot in one spot.
I think I'd probably be put to death if the aristocracy was not pleased with my pomme Anna. I can't imagine that the cooks on the Titanic were treated very well. Right now we think of, chefing as, or at least I'd like to think, as a somewhat respected profession. But like, back in, the early 1900s, it like certainly wasn't. I mean, it very much was you were the help. There was like this sort of rise of this like haute cuisine in France, mostly perpetrated by a chef named Auguste Escoffier, who wrote a guide to modern cookery. And so much of what we know about cooking today is still from that Escoffier tradition. And a lot of the dishes served on the Titanic were like his original dishes. So we're cooking this over somewhat low heat in the butter, and then we're just gonna continue basting it in butter. Almost all the food is basted in butter. So all these aristocrats on the Titanic were probably just farting constantly from all the dairy and fat.
Feels like a boring existence on the Titanic, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know.
Even for the rich people, like, what do you just walk around? In the movie, they go to church.
You shouldn't have to go to church when you're on a cruise.
I agree with that. I mean, do you have a lot of cruise experience yourself?
Nope, never been on one.
Never been on a
But if
cruise.
I'm on
Emily, you
one-
would thrive on cruises. I mean, Marie, yeah, you would thrive on modern cruises. A Carnival Cruise
I
Line.
mean the
Guy Fieri has a restaurant on all of the boats.
Oh my God, I think she would hate that.
So these potatoes have been cooking away. We're trying to get a nice hard sear on the bottom. You see they are jiggling, which means they're not sticking to the pan. So that means we're getting some caramelization.
Okay.
Then now I'm actually gonna take these and I'm just gonna throw them in the oven to try and crisp up
You
this
could put
top.
that whole pan in an oven?
You can put the whole pan in the oven, yeah. Modern technology, crazy, right?
Oh man, I wouldn't put a pan in the oven. That seems dangerous for me. Can I do something that's a reference to the movie, but it's also a longingness for this food?
Yeah, I think you can do that.
Okay, it's in the top one, right?
Yeah. I don't like that. I know the reference
That's the only thing I planned before coming here today.
All right, I'm just gonna call you Madame from now on. Madame, we are making what is essentially a demi-glace. So we have our roasted veal stock right here, and then that is going to be fortified with different liqueurs. So we have cognac right here, we have Cabernet, and then we have Madeira, which is a fortified wine that was made, but in the Portuguese tradition, off of the African coast in the Madeira Islands. It was very popular. I was gonna suggest a tasting spoon for that, but you seem to. How's that for you?
It will suffice.
It feels okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm here to please you. I am just the help, as we have decided. So we're gonna start by sauteing our shallots in butter in the pan. So this is just to get all the flavors sort of incorporated. So we're also gonna be throwing in the bay leaf and the rosemary, and this is just a very rich sauce made with veal bones and 3 different liquors and a little bit of tomato paste, fresh herbs, and a whole lot of butter.
A lot of bones.
A lot of bones. Rich people love eating bones. That's what we've noticed from the past.
What's this thing?
Oh, so this is called a chinois.
Chinois.
A chinois, yeah, it's meant for straining the sauce, so we're pushing through all those aromatics.
Do I look like one of your French girls, Jack?
Yes,
Jack, will you draw me like one of your French girls?
all my French girls have conical breasts. All right, so now we have the tomato paste sort of reduced down. It's all nice and concentrated, so we're gonna add all of our liquors. So again, this is just a 3 liquor
This is gonna smell
blend
so
of
good.
the Cabernet, and we wanna cook this down for just a little bit.
What's that one again? Cognac?
So that's cognac. This is Madeira. This is that fortified Portuguese wine. Madeira was a huge import, even to like the American colonies in the 1700s. It was one of the most popular wines back in the day, and it was a relatively new invention at the time after Portugal sort of colonized the African coast. All right, so we're just gonna season this up a little bit with salt. There we go. I'm gonna give it another 30 seconds just to kind of get that raw liquor taste out of it, but concentrate all that complexity. How many torrid affairs have you had with them?
Ew.
So I imagine that was common.
I'm not. I'm not going to talk about that. I was once betrothed to a baron, not of oil, but of something else.
What was he a baron of?
I cannot say.
Secret baron.
Drugs. He was unfortunately murdered, so we could not go on with our nuptials, but we definitely did it a lot.
You had an affair with a drug baron who was murdered.
Well, it was before I was supposed to marry him, so it was like, we're going to do it anyway.
I see.
You know,
It'll- it's coming
we're going to
together.
do it anyway, so it was fine.
I feel like back then there were a lot of rules, but they were broken constantly.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And contraception was a lemon peel. It works 13% of the time.
That's better than 0%, certainly.
Exactly
Like,
what
that's-
I'm
yeah.
saying.
So I'm gonna go ahead and strain the sauce off. How was this mysterious drug baron murdered?
Poison,
Was it from his own drugs?
maybe.
I don't want to say anything that might get me into trouble.
Well, no one will
but
believe you anyway, Pissy.
So I'll just ask, did you kill him? All right, so now I'm gonna take the sauce and I'm just going to pour it in and we're gonna reduce this down by a fair amount, and then we're just gonna add butter to mount it. There's a French term called beurre monté, which is a way to richen sauces up by adding butter at the very end. We'd call that mounting.
They were really into French stuff.
French culture, so much of it was kind of codified under Louis XIV, right? Where they codified ballet, they codified music, they codified a lot of cooking. Of course, you're familiar with the French mother sauces.
Yes.
Sauce l'espagnol, sauce tomate, sauce bechamel, sauce hollandaise.
Yep.
Hollandaise. So, yo, she's very familiar, of
I
course.
know them all.
Now there's only one more step, and that is to add this beurre monté, or mount the sauce. And so now you can see the butter is just going to melt and sort of emulsify into that and give it a lot of thickness and richness. So now we're ready to actually get to searing off our filet mignon.
What?
Oh! All right, Madame Claire, who definitely did not murder her husband, we're gonna go ahead and tourne some artichokes.
You're a funny poor.
So we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna rip the outer layers of this artichoke off, and then we're trying just to get to the heart. Again, so much of this cooking was about excess and discarding lots of edible product to get to just the best tasting parts of that product. All right, so
I don't think food waste would ever be a problem.
no, that shouldn't ever come back to haunt us
No.
at all. No. What is your relationship to the government? Like, do you bribe officials? I feel like that would be a big part of your life.
Oh no, I just marry men who bribe officials.
Ah, okay.
And then I kill them.
All right, so we want to get it down to this sort of conical shape right here, and then I'm just gonna trim off the tops with my very sharp knife.
Do you feel like artichokes feel pain?
No, I don't think artichokes feel pain. I think poor people do, which you seem to have some.
Oh no.
Oh, people feelings.
You are a funny boy.
That amuses you. All right, so now I'm just gonna trim off the stem, and then I'm just gonna use the paring knife to sort of whittle around the outside.
Makes me nervous.
All the knives were incredibly dull back then. They weren't allowed to have sharp things in the Titanic. There was a problem with rich people murdering the less rich. Who
yes,
could have
but-
perpetrated that?
Well, sometimes you just have to clean up a mess.
Now we got this artichoke whittled down to just the stem. Typically it's supposed to take some lemon, you just kind of rub it on it just to sort of stop it from oxidizing. Then we're just gonna toss that in there, and then we're just gonna blanch these artichokes, and then we're gonna cut that in half, and then we are going to get that basted in steak fat.
Blanche.
Blanche.
That should be her name.
That's her name.
Yes.
Madame Blanche.
Yes.
Where is Madame Blanche from?
She sounds like she's from Downton Abbey, wherever the hell that's from.
All right, so now we need to sear this fillet, so we're gonna get some butter sort of browning in a pan. Most people wouldn't necessarily sear a steak in butter because it is going to brown, but we are doing it today. That pan is incredibly
So they have a ton of butter and everything, but
Ton of butter and
all
everything.
these women had like waists that were 18
Oh,
inches.
they were just cinched. There was a diet in the 1800s where Mark Twain was a part of it. He believed you should chew all your food like 45 times. I'm just gonna go ahead and sear that filet off right there. And like you would chew your food 45 times, that way it's stacked more evenly and digested quicker.
That's
Then
probably a good idea, chewing it more. I don't really do that.
No,
I
I-
kind of hoof it.
I eat like a duck. Can you hand me that ice bath?
Oh dear, I hate cold water. Can you imagine being up to the neck? Well, that would be horrible.
That would be horrible. I can't physically imagine what that would feel like. I'm just gonna let that hang out, and then we're eventually gonna get that into
Warm.
the fillet. Right now, we just want to wait for this to sear for about 3 minutes, then we're gonna turn it, and then we're actually going to baste it in garlic and rosemary butter. All right, so we have all that butter melting, and so we're just gonna add the garlic and the rosemary in there. Do you want to spoon it?
Yes!
Here, we'll flip around. I'll tilt the pan for you. 'cause
Okay,
what you
so
gotta
where
you
do I do
gotta
it? Just all over the top?
Yeah, you're gonna tilt the pan. Yeah, there you go. So get all that brown butter just basting on that rosemary.
Oh man, that's fun.
So this is gonna go on top of those pomme anna that we made earlier. That's going to get sauce. It's gonna get hit with the blanched artichokes that we're actually going to cook in some of that beef fat as well. And then a little bit of green beans as supposed to stave off death and colon cancer, which may have been a problem back then, but was
Wait,
not
just
diagnosed.
death in general?
Well, yeah, I feel like people back then, like they weren't eating a lot of fresh vegetables, you know?
So they had green beans to stave off death.
I think so.
Well, that worked great.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this filet, and I'm just gonna pop it in the oven just for a couple minutes just to finish it. So we have our pomme anna down on the plate. We just cut that out with a ring mold, and now I'm going to take our filet and just place that top. And now I'm just going to take some of those roasted artichokes, give them a nice home to live in.
Oh, I like the way you said that.
Yes, just a lovely little.
Because so many people don't have a home to live in and they deserve it.
I'm just gonna take a few green beans, place those on the outside. All right, so now I'm actually going to take the sauce. I'm going to give it drizzle on the outside of the plate.
I should have said this earlier, but you have a little bit of peanut butter in the corner of your mouth.
I do, I was eating a lot of peanut butter before this.
I'm a bad assistant.
No, you're doing great. I mean, you're not typically asked to work very much, so.
That's true for both the people I'm playing.
So you're gonna take this ring mold and you're just gonna punch out a nice coin of that duck liver. Palm heel strike.
Oh!
There we go. And now it's gonna sort of unmold this from the outside.
Ooh, that little sticky noise.
Here, try some of that. I don't know if you wanna.
I don't know. I've never had it before. Is it good?
It's really good, yeah. It's better if you kind of mush it between your hands first. That's a way to sort of warm up the duck fat and release it. Yes.
Oh, it is really good.
I'm sort of just gonna punch a little liver coin right on top. Emily, this is the Filet Mignon, Lily. This is the classiest dish that you could have ordered in the first class cabin of the Titanic. Are you ready to eat it? I have a couple other first class surprises for you as well.
For me?
Just for you.
Oh my god. I'm excited.
I actually have a table waiting for you in the first class dining cabin.
Wow.
Après vous, madame. Is she French? I don't know. Blanche Here we are at your first class table. Thank you so much for inviting me into your world. So please tell me what we have here.
We're going to start out with peaches and clotted cream.
Gelatin was a common dessert in your era.
Yes.
So this is actually a French liqueur that is gelatinized and served with. How are you feeling about the chartreuse jelly?
It's very good.
I'm getting a lot of that liquor taste.
Yeah, it tastes like absinthe,
Yes.
which my husband sold.
I can imagine that he did. Where are we moving next?
So now it's the caviar. It's the fanciest of things.
But of course.
And we have egg bits in yellow and white. And then we have mayonnaise. And those are red onions. I don't eat those.
No, that's not
I
fancy
do not.
enough for you?
So what are you doing?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were supposed to touch with your fingers.
You have to wait till I tell you that that's the right thing.
Apologize.
So you pick that up.
Thank you.
And then you put some of that and then whatever you want on it. And then that's how you eat it.
Are you a big fan of caviar?
Yes. I have no children of my own, but I will consume this fish's children.
I'll cheers to that.
Yes. You probably are very familiar with soup.
Yes, it is a food of the common people.
Yes. So that is soup with vegetables in it. It's just a broth to kind of cleanse the palate before you have more of the main course.
Okay, well, here, grab a spoonful. That is a very delicate cleansing flavor. So this is actually consomme Olga, which is made with a stock of sturgeon bones.
Sturgeon. Mm-hmm. What is that?
It is a very large fish, very expensive.
Ooh,
It's where a lot of caviar
like
comes
it.
from.
I like it. And now we have the oysters, which are an aphrodisiac. I like to save those for after supper.
You don't eat them now.
No, because later on tonight, I'm going to have to see my husband. He's a very ugly man.
Godspeed, I'll save mine for after dinner too. That is disgusting.
Oh, and lastly, the filet mignon.
Filet mignon Lily, I believe.
Yes. Would you cut that for me, good sir?
I would insist. A lady must
you.
never cut her own steak.
My husband usually puts them in very small bites and feeds them
I'm surprised
to
your
me.
husband sees you at all. It sounds like you don't have the greatest relationship.
No, we have a great relationship. He's just very ugly.
It sounds like his money is mostly what you're after.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's actually what matters. But we have fun.
What do you do for fun?
Throw rocks at peasants. That is a very large bite. My husband would never let me have this.
I'm stealing your fork.
You are very wild. Cheers.
Cheers to the greatest voyage of our time.
Oh, those lights. Okay.
There's so much flavor in there. That's something.
You want green bean?
Yeah, give me a green bean. Oh, I'm eat some duck liver with that green bean though.
Oh, yeah. I want a piece of that with the green bean.
I see what the appeal was behind this food, right? It's antiquated, it's French, but boy, is it fancy and decadent, and I'm into it.
Me too. I think I'd die on a ship for this.
Who's dying? What do those lights keep doing?
I don't know.
That steak is really freaking great though.
I mean, this is pretty cool. It's like going back in time and having a piece of history that was happy right before it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it totally is. It shows you like the class and the taste of the people at the time.
I wonder if they let you have little doggy bags.
I think the purse was probably the method. So, Madame Blanche, if I may call you that,
Yeah, hang on.
does this does this satisfy your expectations as an aristocratic first-class passenger on the Titanic?
Well, yes, I think this suffices.
That is literally the nicest thing Blanche has said to me all day, so thank you. And normally I would thank you for joining me, but thank you for allowing me to join you on your last meal. It has truly been an incredible experience.
What do you mean my last meal? Maybe my last meal with you.
Yeah, about that. Well, thank you so much for stopping by the Mythical Kitchen. We got new recipes out every week. We got new episodes of our podcast, A Hot Dog is a Sandwich, every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Hit us up on Instagram at Mythical Kitchen and let us know what meals from history you want to see us make next. We'll see you next time. Blanche, you want to pop that on real quick?
Oh, no. I don't need that.
All right, your call. Make your kitchen more mythical with these stickers and magnets, now available at mythical.com.